For this recipe, we are going to be making spinach lasagna rolls. They're not really plant-based and they don't have a lot of veggies, but I just really like the recipe and I wanted to include it for you guys. So go ahead and get a large pot out. You're gonna wanna fill it with enough water and cook enough to cook 10 lasagna noodles in there. So quite a big pot with some water. And then you will just follow the instructions for your pasta. So mine is for 7 to 8 minutes for al dente, and that's what we're gonna want. So you can get your water boiling, and when it starts to boil, you'll add your pasta in for however long it says, and then we will get started with the rest of our ingredients. So I would also wash your spinach, and then I will meet you back here in the kitchen. So to begin this recipe, we're going to preheat our oven and a baking dish to 350 degrees. Then we're gonna go ahead and grab our onion, and we're just going to kind of dice it into small pieces. So just go ahead and peel it if you need, and then we will dice it. And you just wanna make sure it's in similar size pieces, probably quite smallly diced. And then make sure that it all gets cut. So then once it's all similar size, we're just gonna go ahead and put it to the side in a small bowl. And for this recipe, you can actually dice it a little bit smaller as well, just so it will be nice and small inside of our lasagna noodles. And then once you pick up all the pieces that may have fallen, we're gonna go ahead and start on our garlic. So I would usually use 2 garlic cloves, but I found a really fat garlic, so I'm just gonna use 1, but you can use 2. And we just want to cut off the edge and give it a peel. And then we're gonna want to just chop it really small into a mince-like size. So once we get our garlic into nice, small, even pieces, I'm gonna put them aside in a separate bowl. And then just going to grab my washed spinach. If you're using small spinach that usually comes in a bag, you probably don't need to chop it, but mine here have quite long stems. So I actually just wanna cut a lot of the stems off. And then we will just put those to the side. And you can kind of go through and see if there's any other big pieces in there that you don't want to have. And then because my spinach is quite big, I'm gonna chop it into smaller chunks very carefully and very mindfully. And then probably just do it one more time. Just this way, when it cooks down, it'll be in smaller bites and you won't get big hunks of spinach. So it can be very roughly chopped. Then you're gonna wanna go ahead and get out a large pan and get it up onto medium heat to start warming up, and we will start cooking all of our veg. Then we're gonna wanna add 1 to 2 tablespoons of oil just to get it warming up. Once our oil and our pan have warmed up, you're gonna just carefully add in your onion. And we're going to let this cook down for maybe about 5 to 7 minutes. We're gonna wanna getting it nice and clear. We want it really soft. So just make sure you keep an eye on your temperature and keep it on medium to maybe medium low. We don't want these to burn. We just want them to really soften up and get almost translucent. So about 5 to 7 minutes, depending on how long your onion will take. And then you're just gonna add in your garlic for the last minute to 2 minutes. And then when that's all done, you wanna add in your spinach. So you don't want your onions to be completely clear and seem like they're done cooking through. You want them to just be softening. And then add in your garlic for a minute, and then your spinach for another minute, and then turn it off. When it comes to making this lifestyle change, there can potentially be a lot of people in your life who don't understand why you've made this decision, and there can be a lot of questions. It might be a little uncomfortable, maybe disheartening, maybe heated. So I want to give you guys a little encouragement today. By making this choice and aligning your lifestyle with your values, you are already courageous. You are already stepping into your power. So just really be sure of yourself. And it's not about being full of yourself. To be sure of yourself just means that this decision is for you, and it is not about anyone else but you. And then we're gonna get out a mixing bowl, and we're gonna use a cup of Parmesan. So I'm actually using a plant-based Parmesan, and it's dairy-free, and you're gonna wanna use about a cup of that. Okay. And then we're gonna use 1 egg. We'll crack that in there. We're gonna use a cup of ricotta. And you can always use a plant-based ricotta as well. I'm just using a regular one. And we're gonna want about a cup of that as well. And we'll add that into our mixture, as well as 1 cup of mozzarella, roughly 1 cup. And I'm using a dairy-free mozzarella as well. And then we're going to add in 1 teaspoon of oregano. We'll add that in. Now you're just gonna wanna take your fresh basil. So just get it into small-ish sizes. And then we'll add about 3 tablespoons worth into our mixture. Have fresh, you don't have to use it. You can use dried, but I just prefer the way the fresh one tastes. And then we will go ahead and add in our spinach and onion and garlic. And then once we have all of that in, then we can go ahead and add in a little bit of salt and pepper. So just do maybe about half a teaspoon of pepper. If you know you like more, add more. And then you want to use about a teaspoon of salt. So go ahead and just add that all in and mix it up and incorporate all of it together. So once you feel like you have it all mixed in, we can go ahead and just get out our lasagna noodles. So when your noodles are all done cooking, you're gonna wanna strain them and cool them down and maybe even sprinkle a little olive oil on them. And then they should just be like this, and you can just lay them out on your cutting board. And then I'm gonna go ahead and grab my baking dish from the oven. And we will just place it out here. So go ahead and just grab your mixture, and we're just gonna put a little bit onto the noodles and spread it out sort of evenly. You want enough for however many lasagna noodles you cooked, so about 10. And then you just go ahead and roll them up like that. And those will be our lasagna rolls. So you're gonna take about 2/3 of your pasta sauce. So I'm using about 630 milliliters, and you just pour that into your casserole dish and leave some for the top. And you just wanna gently place them inside, seam down. So then you're just gonna go ahead and repeat the whole process, put them all into your casserole dish, put it into and then you'll put the rest of your sauce over top, as well as your mozzarella. You want 1 cup of mozzarella, and you'll go ahead and put that on top and stick it in the oven for 20 to 25 minutes uncovered. So there we have our cheesy lasagna rolls. I hope you guys enjoyed this recipe, and I will see you in the kitchen for the next one. Yum.